Welcome to Fix My Ship, the place where we navigate through the storms and calm the waters of every kind of relationship, whether it's family, friendship, dating, marriage, or even workplace connections. No matter the issue, we believe every ship can be repaired with the right tools. We hope you enjoy this episode, and if you do, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a chance to grow with us. Let's fix some ships together. Welcome to another episode of Fix My Ship, where we are unrehearsed and unscripted. This is raw and unedited audio that you're receiving right now. I want to let you all know I just did a 15 minutes episode and it's missing. I deleted it by mistake. So we're going to do take two. This is an episode where we're going to talk about those who should be locked out of your life and those who could be less in your life or be a blessing to your life or be a lesson in your life. So who are you blocking out of your life? Who has been a lesson in your life? Who do you need to make be less in your life? All of those things we're going to talk about today. First thing that I want to talk about is making sure that you understand how to put people in their proper place. So you have your outer circle and your inner circle. Understand both of those circles are going to be made up of people who influence you, good or bad. Your outer circle and your inner circle influences you. You determine how close each one of those circles of people get to you. You determine the access that is granted to these individuals. So the biggest thing that I want to point out is us understanding that those who hold a title or a certain position in our life, do an evaluation to determine if they have earned that place that you've given them in your life. So the first thing that I want to talk about is just our friends. Those people who we have found to be our friends, you need to understand, are they in a place of a season, a reason, or a lifetime? And what happens is, I think when it comes to us understanding why people are in our lives, we try to hold on to family members, make them close to that inner circle just because we have those blood ties and just because we are connected to those people in that type of covenant doesn't always allow those people that same access. So you need to understand who needs to be locked out of your life. And sometimes that comes with tough decisions that you have to make. But you need to do an evaluation, a re-evaluation of who you have and make sure that, again, that you are placing people in their proper place. So what I want you to think about if you're listening to this episode is, why do I have who I have in my life? And you need to understand that every relationship that you have in your life is not going to be 50-50. There are going to be some 60-40s and some 70-30s around there. What you need to reevaluate is this person always taking? Am I always drained after I get off the phone with them? The people who are always calling and taking from me the most, can I call on those same individuals to be a listening ear? If you are a friend, one, you also must show yourself friendly. You need to be available for me as I am available for you. Not like I am, but as I am available for you. And I think a lot of times we force those blood ties a little bit harder because that's how we've been trained. That's how we've been programmed. So we have psychological trauma, emotional trauma that we are dealing with, that we have this issue that if this person is a family member in our life, they should be in that inner circle. The devil is a liar. That's not true. If that were true, then we should have no problem with the people who are our family members. And sometimes we find out that the ones that are in our family are the ones that we have the biggest problems with. So I want you to understand, there are individuals that need to be locked out of you and access needs to be denied. But you need to understand why you're blocking access, when you're blocking access, how you're blocking access. Everybody is not supposed to have the same access in your life. If you are a person that feels that relationships need to be that 50-50 and not that 70-30, 60-40, I'm just cautioning you and letting you understand, if you are a 50-50 person and you only operate on a 50-50 basis, you will have the tendency to become very transactional. And when people find out that you are a transactional friend, you're going to start having less friends. I don't like losing friends. And over the last year and a half, there were two individuals that I held very close to my heart that knew some of my darkest secrets. And I don't even want to say darkest secrets, but they knew some of those secrets that really were hidden just to those two individuals. And I feel like for some part of that friendship life cycle, I was forcing people who probably should have been a little bit more temporary, and I was trying to make them permanent. When you try to make temporary people permanent, you end up in toxic and taxing relationships. So when you find yourself in those type of relationships, you have no one to blame but yourself, because sometimes you have the sense of belonging so much that you don't want to be alone. And you get into problems when you find yourself in situations where you don't want to be alone. You need to learn how to be by yourself. As friendly and as social as I am friendly and social who I want to be friendly and social with. Contrary to popular belief, my circle is my circle, and that's who I hang with. Either you're in or you're out. I mingle a little bit outside that circle of influence, that inner circle and the outer circle, but I'm coming right back because that's my recalibration area. Those are the people that put me in check. If you have people around you who always say yes, 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 and never say no, 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 you need to find you some more friends. Those are not your friends. Those are your enemies. If you call these people friends and they have never told you no, they are not your friend. A friend or a person who has never told you no is not your friend. I guarantee you, if you realize and you reevaluate and you evaluate who you consider to be your friends, they checked you. If you are around people who never check you, you need to get some more friends. And part of that might be your fault. You should never be able to not accept constructive criticism. You should never be able to have people in your life that can't say, hey, dude, ma'am, sir, miss, that was wrong. If nobody can check you, you have a problem. Yes, we are the captain of our ships. We are. We allow access to those who need to have access. We deny access where access needs to be denied. However, you better find out who is to be locked, who is to be less, and who is to be that lesson to you. Again, when you try to make temporary people, because you have people that are in your life for a reason, people that are in your life for a season, and people that are in your life for a lifetime. When you try to make temporary people permanent, you are going to be in for a world of trouble. So I caution you, if you have tuned into this episode, I want you to do a reevaluation. You need to determine your self-worth. You need to determine the worth of those individuals that are around you. And again, if it's take, it's time for you to take them out of your life. Remove them from the equation if that's what needs to happen. I am not telling you to cancel relationships just because. But really look at it and say, what's going on here? Am I losing more than I'm gaining? Even though I may feel that I've lost more than I gained, is it still beneficial in the end? Your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health are important. Do not take those things for granted. So in this evaluation, you're going to have to look at yourself first and understand, why do I have the people that I have in my life around me? Are you so selfish that you just want people around you no matter the condition or the state that you're in or they're in, just so you're not lonely, so you won't be lonely? Or do you have people around you because you say, you know what, I want people that when I go astray, they know how to bring me back on course? If you're a person that can't be corrected, then I'm pretty sure you don't have that many friends. He who has friends must first show himself friendly, is what the Bible says. However, that's not a whole rite of passage for you to be able to say, I got 1,000 friends. And if that's what you want, so be it. Again, I told you I'm an introvert. Once they start telling me 5, 6, 7 people going to be there, I take myself out the equation. I don't like big groups. I like to be around who I like to be around. It doesn't mean that I won't take on new friends, but I'm okay with not having new friends. I'm okay with dismissing who needs to be dismissed. Like I said, if they need to be locked, if they need to be less in your life, then you need to lessen it. Or also learn the lesson. Failure is only a failure when you don't learn a lesson. So if you're listening to this, it's time for you to do an evaluation. Do a reevaluation, do a calibration, and figure out if those who are in your life really still need to stay there and be there in your life. Don't allow people to drain you. Who do you call on when you're in need? A friend in need is a friend indeed. Who needs to be locked? Who needs to be less? And who do I need to learn the lesson from? I thank you for tuning in to another episode of Fix My Ship. I hope this talk has helped you. Until next time, I'll see you when I see you. Thanks for selling with us today on Fix My Ship, where no relationship is beyond repair. If something spoke to you, challenged you, or helped you see things differently, do us a favor. Like, comment, and subscribe so you stay anchored to truth and growth. And don't forget to share this episode with someone whose ship might be drifting. They just might need this too. Until next time, keep your heart open, keep your mind renewed, and your ship headed in the right direction. Peace and progress.